This video contains graphic descriptions of child sexual abuse and mature themes which some viewers may find distressing. Ian David Carslake Watkins was born on July 30th, 1977, in the Welsh town of Merthyr Tydfil. His father died when Ian was 5, and his mother, Elaine, married John Davis. Davis, who later trained as a Baptist minister, was a loving stepfather to Watkins, and he appears to have had a very loving, supportive upbringing. Academically, Watkins was described as a very gifted, diligent student, so much so that he went on to gain a first-class honours degree in graphic design at the University of Wales, Newport. He worked as a graphic designer before switching to music full-time. From a young age, Watkins was passionate about music. He listened mainly to American rock and metal bands, citing Faith No More as his biggest influence. While attending Hawthorne High School, Watkins befriended Mike Lewis, who would later become the rhythm guitarist for Lost Prophets. They bonded over their mutual love of music, and in 1991 they formed Aftermath, a thrash metal band that rehearsed in Watkins' garden shed. Aftermath never recorded any material and played only 2 concerts during its 2-year existence. Watkins was introduced to Lee Gaze through a mutual friend, and they decided to form Fleshblind, whose music was influenced by American hardcore punk bands. They played several shows and were even a support act for Welsh rock band Feeder during a concert in London. Like Aftermath, however, Fleshblind was a short-lived project. Reuniting with Mike Lewis, Watkins became the drummer for Public Disturbance in 1995. Watkins and Gaze founded their own group, Lost Prophets, who made their live debut in 1997. Watkins left Public Disturbance in 1998 to concentrate on Lost Prophets. Lost Prophets saw some success in the South Wales music scene and were signed to the now defunct independent record label Visible Noise in 1999. Before then, they had come to the attention of music magazines Kerrang! And Metal Hammer. The band's debut album, The Fake Sound of Progress, was released in 2000, and after being released by Columbia Records in 2001, it sold better than previously and helped propel the band to stardom. Lost Prophets' following grew exponentially, and they managed to make it big across the Atlantic, a major achievement for any British band. They went on to release 4 more albums between 2002 and 2012, sold 3.5 million albums worldwide, achieved 2 top 10 singles, Last Train Home in 2003 and Rooftops in 2006, and won numerous Kerrang! Awards and nominations. The band's popularity meant that they were invited to perform at some of the biggest music festivals in the world, including Glastonbury Festival. Initially, Watkins described himself as, quote, straight edge, meaning he did not drink or take drugs, likely so as not to affect his stage presence. Watkins, who was previously described as, quote, straight edge, began abusing drugs, including crystal meth and crack cocaine, in around 2007 or 2008, during the height of the band's fame. Stuart Richardson, the bassist, reported that the band members spent every day of the last 18 months of the band waiting on the call that Watkins was dead. His drug abuse was not the only concern. In December 2008, a former partner of Watkins called police to say that he had given her child cocaine and touched him inappropriately. South Wales police did not act on this information. By this point, Watkins had begun to take advantage of underage fans, including in 2007, when he took the virginity of a 16-year-old girl. He asked her to wear a schoolgirl uniform and filmed themselves having anal, vaginal and oral sex. He asked her if she enjoyed being his, quote, underage slut, then urinated on her face and ordered her to drink it. In March 2010, South Wales police were informed that Watkins was involved in child pornography and had stated that he wanted to abuse children. In June that year, South Wales police were again informed that Watkins was in possession of child pornography, had admitted to abusing a 4-year-old, and was using social media platforms to groom children. In August 2010, South Wales police were informed that Watkins was forcing young girls to have sex with him after concerts and filming the sexual activity. Watkins would threaten his victims online, saying that he would get people to go and, quote, sort them out if they spoke of the abuse. In May 2011, Joanne Majelix, a former partner of Watkins, made a complaint about the police inaction relating to Watkins. She alleged that Watkins had confided in her about abusing underage fans, and that his favourite video was of a 14-year-old girl stripping off before he took her virginity. She also alleged that he wanted to impregnate her so that he could abuse their child. In February 2012, a man informed South Wales police that his daughter might have been assaulted by Watkins. In April that year, an Australian national told police that Watkins had boasted about getting a 13-year-old high and having sex with her, in the hopes that she became pregnant. In March 2012, South Yorkshire police were contacted by a woman, known only as B, to say that she believed that Watkins had sexually assaulted her 10-month-old son in a Cardiff hotel. She added that there were rumours that he had raped a 5-year-old child. B met Watkins in 2011, when she was 19. A fan of Lost Prophets, B was soon in communication with Watkins. She was a mother with a newborn baby, and her conversations with Watkins included discussions about raping the child. B and Watkins met in a hotel in Cardiff in 2012. After they discussed abusing the baby, B texted Watkins, quote, "Tell me if you want to get your dick in our boy." Within a month of meeting Watkins, B was under Watkins' spell and did whatever he wanted. Between the 2nd and 3rd of April 2012, B and Watkins met in a London hotel where she, quote, presented her 10-month-old son to be raped by Watkins. Watkins penetrated the baby's mouth with his penis, then tried to rape him. All the while, B could be heard encouraging Watkins. B then sexually abused her own son. All of the activity was filmed. On August 2nd, 2012, Watkins messaged B saying, quote, "To be honest though, I think we have gone easy on him so far. Time to teach him and make him learn to love it." The pair met again in a hotel in Wales in September 2012. After this, B sent Watkins a picture of herself licking her son's genitals. P was in her early 20s when she began communicating with Watkins in August 2012. The pair soon began discussing plans to abuse her baby daughter. One of their text exchanges went as follows, quote, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." P responded, quote, "Understandable. A mother-daughter slave duo worshipping you." Watkins said, "That's all she will know. A life of filth." As the contact continued, the messages included references to P and her daughter performing oral sex on Watkins and their plan to drug the girl and force her to engage in bestiality. Fortunately, Watkins did not abuse this girl, but he watched via webcam as P penetrated her daughter's vagina with her finger. She also sent him pictures of her baby girl's genitals. Although several police forces had received information about Watkins' unnatural interest in children, it was not these reports that led to his arrest, but rather a drugs raid in September 2012, during which his mobile phone, laptop and storage devices were seized. To break the code on his laptop, South Wales Police sought the services of GCHQ, the British Communications Intelligence Agency. Shockingly, Watkins' password on his laptop was, quote, "I fuck kids." On Watkins' laptop, officers found evidence of his offending. Watkins appeared at Cardiff Magistrates Court in December 2012, alongside B and P, who were identified and arrested following an analysis of his communications. All three defendants were remanded into custody. Watkins' barrister stated that he would plead not guilty to all charges. However, on November 26, 2013, Watkins changed his plea to guilty to 13 offences, including attempted rape and sexual assault of a child under 13, 3 counts of sexual assault involving children, 6 counts of taking, making, or possessing indecent images of children, and 1 count of possessing an extreme pornographic image involving a sex act on an animal. B and P pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting their children, as well as facilitating Watkins' abuse of them. Sentencing was set for December the 18th, 2013. During the sentencing hearing, Watkins' depravity was laid bare, not only in terms of the seriousness of the offences, but also in terms of his behaviour since being remanded into custody. Namely, a few days before sentencing, Watkins was recorded on a prison phone call, quote, "I do my charm, or do I end up making things worse for myself? Or do I just say that I was off my head and can't remember?" He also stated that he was going to release a statement saying that his sexual abuse of children was, quote, megalols, a phrase coined during Lost Prophets tours. He told that same person, quote, "I don't know what everyone is getting so freaked out about." During the hearing, Watkins, through his barrister, claimed that he could not remember any of his offending against the children of B&P. Not surprisingly, none of this was accepted by the presiding judge. Justice John Royce stated that Watkins' offending, quote, plunged new depths of depravity. Addressing Watkins, he said, quote, "I am satisfied that you are a deeply corrupting influence. You are highly manipulative. You are a sexual predator. You are dangerous. The public, in particular young females and children, need protection from you." Turning to the 2 mothers, Royce outlined the horrific nature of their actions and stated that they had completely and utterly abused the trust placed in them. All 3 defendants were then sentenced. Ian Watkins was sentenced to 35 years in prison. He must serve at least 19 years before he can apply for parole. P was sentenced to 17 years imprisonment, of which she would need to serve half in prison, with the rest in the community monitored by probation officers. B was sentenced to 14 years, of which she would need to serve half in prison, with the rest under surveillance in the community. Watkins is currently incarcerated in HMP Wakefield in West Yorkshire, alongside the likes of Mick Philpott and Reynard Sanaga, both of whom I've already covered on this channel. After Watkins was charged with multiple sex offences, Lost Prophets cancelled all tour dates and disbanded in October 2013, 2 months before the conclusion of Watkins' trial. The remaining members formed a new band, No Devotion, with American singer Jeff Rickley. They released their first album, Permanence, in 2015. No Devotion's alternative rock sound differs greatly from the hard heavy rock sound of Lost Prophets. This was likely done by the remaining members of Lost Prophets in order to distance themselves from their previous career with Watkins. As already stated, there were numerous opportunities to stop Watkins as early as 2008, but 5 police forces failed to act on information that Watkins was an unrepentant paedophile. An investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission, or IPCC, was launched. A report published in the summer of 2016 recommended that 3 detectives from South Wales Police should face disciplinary action after they failed to respond to earlier allegations of abuse against Watkins. A second report, published in August 2017, found that police had on several occasions between 2008 and 2012 failed to properly investigate Watkins' behaviour. The report concluded, quote, "The consequence of the force's failings was arguably that a predatory paedophile offended over an extended period of time. The evidence obtained in this investigation suggests that South Wales Police were faced with a litany of reports about his behaviour, yet in some instances did not carry out even rudimentary investigation, made errors and omissions, and missed opportunities to bring him to justice earlier than he ultimately was." South Wales Police Assistant Chief Constable Jeremy Vaughan said his force accepted the findings of the report and that they regretted how they handled Watkins' case. However, one of the detectives was cleared of misconduct. In 2015, Joanne Majelix, the former partner of Watkins who tried to stop him years before his eventual arrest, was cleared of possessing indecent images of children, on the grounds that she was trying to bring him to justice. As stated earlier, Watkins remains imprisoned in HMP Wakefield. However, it appears that his time in prison and loss of celebrity status has had little impact on Watkins. In 2017, it was reported that Watkins had been communicating with a 21-year-old fan and joking about her toddler watching her have sex. On the morning of August 5, 2023, Watkins was attacked and held hostage by 3 prisoners. He was freed by prison officers 6 hours later. Police confirmed that his injuries were not life-threatening. Watkins will be able to apply for parole after serving 19 years of his 35-year sentence, when he will be 55 years old. This means he could be a free man again as early as 2032. However, the parole board will only grant parole if they feel that he no longer poses a threat to society. Given his level of callousness and remorselessness, it's likely that Watkins will spend the remainder of his life behind bars.